Doing something a little different today, let's rank all G.I. Joe classified figures coming down the pipeline. You'll be shocked on what fan favorite is at the bottom of the list. Welcome back to the channel. Trying something a little different today. Normally you don't see me on camera, you'll see more depending on how this goes. We do weekly Transformer and G.I. Joe videos on the channel. This week we are talking G.I. Joe Classified and all of the YoJoe June figures that were verbally announced throughout the month and ranking them. Let's help Hasbro with a little bit of market research. I put together this table using tiermaker.com, put in a few graphics, and this is what you get. I have all the classic real American hero designs to represent each figure in the list. And of course, I have 5 categories, which I have here. Let's do a quick rundown. The first one is, of course, must have, which is pretty self-explanatory. These are figures I need to have in my G.I. Joe Classified collection. Second is the pre-order now. So normally what I do is if there's a figure that I might remotely want, I'll pre-order it when the listing goes live to make sure I have it and I don't need to worry about missing it down the line. I can always return it if I change my mind, but to me the figure has some sort of potential. This of course is one of my pro tips that I've previously mentioned in my collecting shorts you'll find on the channel. Third tier is the unsure. These are figures I'm not really sure how they will turn out at the moment. Simply it's unclear if you'll see a brand new inspired look or a closer vintage look. So without seeing any indication of the figure, that's where these ones land. Fourth tier is the not interested tier, and this is simply figures that more than likely I won't pick up unless it goes on clearance or I get part of a great deal. The fifth tier is the dreaded shelf warmer. I think that one is self-explanatory as well. Now, before we get into it, I know this is really different from what we have been doing. So if you do like this video, make sure you leave a like and think about subscribing. Then I mentioned earlier, let's do Hasbro some market research. I won't ask you to rank all 14 characters, but do me a favor and head to the comments and leave the name of your top figure and the figure you're least interested in. Starting off, we'll grab Grunt. I think for Grunt, he is a pre-order for me right now. Basically, he has that vintage green look of the classic soldiers. So I think he may go really good with Breaker and possibly Rock and Roll. Of course, speaking of Rock and Roll, he's next up. We have previously seen a 3D render of him from Comic-Con. I think he has some true potential. I'm interested to see how his model turns out. Next up is Snow Job. I think if done correctly, Snow Job is going to be a must-have for me. Now, I'm Canadian, so I always really enjoy those winter-based figures. I'm going to assume he will come with a ton of accessories based on his previous models. So, let's put him in the must-have tab. Next up, we have Torpedo. We've seen his render as well, and of course he came with such an amazing kit of accessories. I think he has real good potential. So let's put Torpedo in the pre-order now tier. Next up, I'm going to grab a Ripper. I have to be honest, as of right now, I'm not really sure how Ripper is going to turn out. He is not my favorite Dreadnought, and I'm going to have to wait and see on him. So I'm going to grab Ripper and throw him in the unsure tier. What do you guys think? Next up would be the Televiper. Now, I've previously discussed that the Televiper is set to come with the Cobra Flight Pod. Now, the Cobra Flight Pod, I've done a video on it. It is one of my all-time favorite G.I. Joe vehicles. I have 3 of the vintage ones. So guess what? No surprise, the Televiper heads to the must-have tier for me. Next up, I'm going to grab Tunnel Rat. Now, while as a kid, I really did enjoy the G.I. Joe movie, I didn't have a problem with it. It's a good action movie. I have it on Blu-ray. Tunnel Rat, I'm sorry, he is the first one joining our not interested tier. Just right now, for the amount of figures that are set to come out, I have to allot my money to some of those other figures compared to Tunnel Rat. So right now he's going in the not interested. Doesn't mean I won't pick him up sometime down the road when he's cheap, but for now, not interested. Let's grab Shipwreck next. Now, Shipwreck is an interesting character. He is a really quirky, fun comic relief character from the cartoon. Sorry. For me, I think I'm going to have to wait and see what they pull off with Shipwreck. I know a lot of people love Shipwreck and they're so excited, but I need to see how he turns out in G.I. Joe Classified first before I plant money on buying him. Next up would be Lowlight. Now, Lowlight is another one of those characters that I think if done correctly, he has such potential. Like, just simply if you look at his modern figure release, he had so many awesome accessories. So he is a pre-order now for sure. Next up, we will grab the Range Viper. Now, I have to be honest, I was surprised when they announced the Range Viper because I feel like there's probably a ton more figures in between him and the ones that haven't been done yet. So that being said, the G.I. Joe Classified design team has done an amazing job with the Cobra Troopers. So I am going to have to put him in the pre-order now section. I'm excited to see how he turns out. Let's grab Scrap Iron. Now, if you're a fan of the channel, which hopefully you are, you'll know that we've done a previous video on Scrap Iron and what we are expecting from him. So go check that out after this video. But he is an easy must-have. So like he's at the top of the list for sure. He has such amazing potential, and I really hope the G.I. Joe designers do him justice. So we're getting down there. There's only a few left. Let's grab Copperhead. Now, Copperhead, since as of right now, as the filming of this video, there's no announced Cobra Moccasin coming anytime soon. So I'm gonna have to say I'm gonna lay Copperhead in the not interested tier. He'd have to really wow me to move up to another tier. We'll see how he turns out. Down to 2 now. Let's grab Firefly. So Firefly, he's interesting. I don't know about you, but when the G.I. Joe team announced that they were redoing Firefly, I was kind of like, what? Like, there's like a million other characters I'd like to see them do first. We already have a Firefly, and I didn't have a problem with him. So for me, I'm actually going to shock you and put Firefly redo in the not interested tier. I already have a Firefly, don't need another one. What do you guys think about Firefly? Should G.I. Joe design team have skipped him and like moved on to some other figures that need to be done? I think so. Anyways, last but not least, we have Big Ben. Now, Big Ben. Let's talk Big Ben. I'm sure there are people out there that Big Ben is their favorite character. They're like, oh man, Big Ben, I'm so excited for Big Ben. I can't wait to get him. But I'm going to be honest, I have no interest in Big Ben. And I think if you had to ask me, knowing what I know today, I'm going to have to put him in the dreaded shelf warmer tier. I expect this guy to clog up the shelves. That's just my opinion. Let me know in the comments what you think of the Big Ben announcement. So guys, that's my rankings. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Don't forget to leave your top figure and your worst figure of these 14 in the comments. I'm curious to know what everyone else thinks. I read all the comments and try to respond to all of them. I'll include the link to the tier maker page if you want to use a tier maker of your own and make your own. For now, check out some of our other great videos on our channel, like how we can expect to see more G.I. Joe vehicles coming to G.I. Joe Classified thanks to that Cobra Hiss. Did you get one? I didn't. I'm poor. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one. Have a good one. Bye.